use the notation a plus b iota for the complex numbers. So these are the works whose roots are traceable to the works of Muhammad bin Musa al-Khwarizmi. Now we'll turn to discuss his famous books Al-Jabr wal-Muqabla. He composed the famous books of Al-Jabr wal-Muqabla. So all these informations are there on page 256. The book A History of Mathematics, second edition by Colonel Benjamin Boyle, the book for which I have given the reference at the start of my talk. Al-Jabr means completion and Muqabla means reduction and balancing. Two versions of this book are extant now, one in Arabic and other is in Latin. The book in Latin is missing the original preface of the book. The Latin version was composed in Spain in Muslim reign. The said book has 6 chapters in which 6 types of equations have been discussed. The equations involved roots, squares, and numbers. All cases solve all types of linear and quadratic equations. Mastering the solution of all 6 types was difficult for most of the contemporary scholars. That is why he is known as the father of algebra. Al-Jabr al-Muqabla was first of all translated into Latin in 1145 AD by Robert of Chester, an English Arabist of 12th century, and was used as a principal mathematical textbook in European universities till 16th century. Now we will talk about the modern decimal number system. What are the contributions of Muhammad bin Musa al-Khwarizmi to the decimal number system that we are using today? So before Al-Khwarizmi, the concept of zero was there with different names in different civilizations. Like in India and China, the zero was named by the Sanskrit word sunya, which means empty or void, and by the Chinese word ling, which means nothing, respectively. But being the pioneer of decimal number system or Arabic numeration system, Al-Khwarizmi first of all coined zero by the name cipher is a placeholder in the history of mathematics, and it resolved a lot of problems with Roman numeration system like cumbersome multiplication and division, the answer to the difference of two similar numbers. The Roman numeration system was also hard to read and write, and the Roman numeration system was also unable to support the fractional decimal numbers easily, which is a significant drawback in application where precise fractional values are needed. So these are the famous documentaries about Al-Khwarizmi. The first one is The Man Who Invented Algorithm by BBC, then The Father of Algebra by Al Jazeera TV, Who is Al-Khwarizmi by TRT World, and The Islamic Golden Age again by BBC. So this is a report published by BBC about Al-Khwarizmi. Now let us study what this report says. We think of an algorithm as something new, but the word actually dates back about 900 years. The word algorithm comes from the name of a mathematical genius, Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. He was born around 700 AD in the region known as Uzbekistan. His name suggests he came from Khwarizmi. Known as Al-Khwarizmi, he was a director in the House of Wisdom, an intellectual center for scholars in Baghdad in the 9th century. He made innovative contribution to mathematics, astronomy, geography, cartography, and wrote an influential book called Concerning the Hindu Art of Reckoning, or Zij as-Sanadul Hind. 300 years later, the book was rediscovered and translated into Latin. It introduced Arabic numerals to the West, which eventually replaced the unwieldy Roman ones. The Arabic numeration system, along with the decimal point, both described by Al-Khwarizmi in his book Zayt as-Sanad al-Hind, are the basis of numbers used throughout the world today. Al-Khwarizmi's name, when Latinized in the title of the book, became Al-Khwarizmi, and this is the origin of the word algorithm. We also have Al-Khwarizmi to thank for the word algebra, which comes from another of his works. His books revolutionized mathematics in the West, showing how complex problems could be broken down into simpler parts and solved. In medieval Latin, algorithms simply meant the decimal number system. By the 13th century, it had become an English word and was used, for example, Chaucer. But it was not until 19th century that algorithm came to mean a set of step-by-step rules for solving problems. In the early part of the 20th century, Alan Turing, the British mathematician and computer scientist, worked out how, in theory, a machine could follow algorithmic instructions and solve complex mathematics. This was the birth of the computer age. During World War II, he built a machine called bomb, which used algorithm to crack the Enigma code. Today, algorithm is fairly a common term, even if sometimes you are not exactly sure what an algorithm does. Algorithms are everything now, helping us from A to B, driving internal researches, making recommendations of things for us to buy, watch, or share. So thank you for being with us.